tapping. We consciously free. Rise up, tapping. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal. We consciously be. No labels, just growth. Domesticated me. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal. We consciously be. No labels, just growth. Domesticated me. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Yes, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticating me. Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticating me.
Hey, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing? Well, welcome to Domesticated Me, and this is our journey talk. And for y'all that don't know, I'm your host, Nay. So I really wanted to make sure I explain the channel and really what it's all about, so that as we do our branding, people will know like really what is Domesticated Me and why are you guys even considering being part of a community, or what is the value of a show like this. And so I said, okay, let me begin to do that. So if you were here yesterday, you kind of heard about our Stories That Stay With Us series here on Domesticated Me, which is Friday nights. And now this is our journey talk, which is on Saturdays, where actually it's all about our journeys, our everyday journeys. This space is a space for encouragement, inspiration, motivation as we together explore our healing, our growth, self-discovery, and spiritual reflection. We're gonna we talk we mix the spirits up, like we talk about that type of stuff in here through experiences in everyday life. So I ask you that if you are on a journey of becoming, learning, and rising through life seasons, then you're in the right place. So take a breath, everybody. Let's all settle in because we have fun here too. We have fun here. Um, and let's just go through this together. So first off, I want to welcome everybody that is here right now supporting me. Thank you, Miss Nia Jackson, for supporting me. Thank you so much. You can call me Jazz for supporting me. You guys are two of my biggest fans. If when you have two ladies that will support you, um, you guys are the girls. So I want to just first start off by saying I give y'all a big shout out. Like simply, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the bomb. And I just appreciate you guys so much. And that kind of leads me into to what today's show is about in essence. And I'm so glad that you guys are here for this week's conversation, because we've been friends for just under 3 years now, and we've experienced some different things together, and we're going to explore like the self discovery and the spiritual reflection through these everyday experiences we have. Um, and we're going to pause in it today because we've all went through certain things during this past couple of years. Um, and we've had the pleasure of sharing some of those things with each other and or kind of moving through them. Me with I don't know, I don't want to say it like that, but I believe I had maybe the biggest transition in my recent years, which was the retirement. And that was just such a big transition for me, and you guys were with me through that, right? And I was reflecting on that. And so today I just want to kind of take time I really want to have like an old time testimony type service about embracing your experiences. Do you remember when you would be in the church house and then the saints would be like this, the testimony service? Who remembers testimony services? I'm going to give everybody a chance. I got to learn that, you know? Okay, you can call me Jazz. You do. Yes, you do, Nia. Y'all remember this time when they would stand up and they would say the testimony. And then as they're saying the testimony, it would be things like you would remember like this person got through this thing. So today we're going to really be talking about embracing life's experiences. The beautiful moments, the painful moments, the unexpected turns, and the seasons that stretch us beyond what we thought we couldn't handle. There was times where you didn't know that you were going to get through what you got through. You didn't realize that. And talk about how life is not a straight line. It really is a journey. It really is a journey. Um, Filled with, joy, sorrow, victories, setback. Come on. All these things. Sometimes things are very clear in the season you're in. Like you'll be in a season, it'll be clear as day as why you're in that season. And then sometimes it's just confusing, right? Sometimes you like, how did I get into this season? Like, where did all of this stuff come from? How did I get here? It's like you're Tony Braxton, right? Type thing. And so, yet every experience, and I used to get tired of hearing that, but for real, every experience really does have the potential to teach us something very meaningful about who we are and about what we're denying ourselves. See, this is the thing. A lot of times experience comes to show you that you are denying yourself of something. So these conversations that we're going to talk about today are meant to encourage and reflect growth and dig deeper into some awareness. So I invite you to take what you may, what fits, what resonates with you. I always talk about my 3 buckets, right? One bucket is you keep it, the other bucket is you save it, and the other bucket is you throw it away. So if the conversation ain't for you, then just go ahead and get rid of it. It is really the best thing to do. And right now, while we take a short intermission, we're going to go ahead and do what? We're going to go ahead and hit that like button, get some people in the room, because we don't want to kind of go further till we get a little more people in the room. So if you know somebody that you can invite them right now, today. Okay. So that we can get started on this conversation. Well, I'm going to give you the introduction to the conversation next. So we're going to be holding ourselves up for just a few seconds.
Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal. We consciously be. No labels, just growth. Domesticated me. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me.
And because that is me and Nia's favorite song, that is me and Nia's favorite song. And so anytime that we want to play that song, we're going to play it because me and Nia love that song. Okay. So rise up and tap in, y'all. So many of us spend time resisting different parts of our journeys, right? We're still pushing them back. We tend to avoid the discomforts, and turn another way. Hide when we're disappointed, sometimes rush past seasons because we just want to get them done. We don't really be learning the lesson in that particular season. But do you know that that's the very moment that, growth really begins, is when you're in the thick of it. Now, who agrees with me that when they're in the thick of it, that is where growth really begins, right? And And before we go any further, I do want to do that pause and reflect for a second. I really do. I want to just say, let's just take the next moment to just pause and reflect. And as you're pausing and reflecting, this is the question I want you to reflect on. And then throughout the conversation, I want you to reflect on this question, right? So this is the value in this, in us talking today with each other. What life's experience has taught you the most about yourself? That's our anchor question today, is what life experiences have taught you most about yourself? Um, let's just think about that for a minute. Let's just think about that for a minute. You don't have to answer now. But as we go further, then you can slide in and go ahead and answer. You know what I mean? But just hold on to that. And okay, so we come back and we'll talk about, eh, life experience. And I love that. I love that answer, right? And this is another thing why we need to start preparing our children, right? Because just think, as soon as you're out of your household, you're going off to college, right? Where you're not under a parental guidance, you know what I'm saying? Type of situation. Then when you really become the daughter, you know what I mean? Which is another thing. I heard something very interesting I want to share with you guys about the words we use when we're speaking of our sons and daughters, condensing and calling them children and things of that nature. It's nice. It's off this subject. So at the end of this video, maybe I'll talk a little bit about that. So we'll talk about that just as a group. Right. It's your first time by yourself. And you don't have to really call your mom and say, hey, I'm going out to get me something to eat. It's 10 o'clock. Like, you could leave, right? And no, and in that particular season could help you to independently begin to make some of those decisions that you have not been domesticated into. If you get what I'm saying, some of those decisions that were made for you, some of those agreements that were made for you, some of those beliefs that were made for you, you're able to now begin to make them for yourself. And it takes all of these experiences. It's just not the experiences that make you feel good. Oh, this is a feel good thing. It's a feel good thing. And the other ones is like, oh, it's those too. It's those particular things too. Allow you some time to really have the things that are reflective of the wholeness of you, the things that you brought through you in a whole way. See, the first things, you got to really subscribe to that you are your outer world. Like, your experiences through you are your outer world. They have nothing to do with anybody else. You first got to subscribe to that. And if you want to talk about that more, then you can always talk to me offline. If you are a person here that don't really understand what I'm talking about, that you bring through your experiences, that you are the author, you know what I'm saying? That you are the director, the producer, the characters in your outer world. You are the script writer yourself. Then you will understand that these experiences that you have is experiences that you wanted. I haven't experienced that fully experienced. I moved on my own for like 5 months. Nobody to blame. Free your own choice. Absolutely. Let me tell you something, Nia. So be careful what you ask for. And I'll be a little transparent here with you, but be careful what you ask for in the essence now. And I know that you have a long-standing marriage, so this is not going to happen to you, but this is my story. I never was not in a relationship per se since I was 17. When I started having kids, I had my own apartment. I was in a relationship with my kid's father. Then I was in a relationship with another person. And then I was in a relationship with um the man I married, the man I got married to. And I'd never been alone since I was 17. And when we broke up, I was 30 years old. It's 15 years later or something like that. Because we were together 15 years. And I said, you know what? I never been alone. I said that to myself, and that's what I want to be, alone. And it literally took 10 years for me. And during all these experiences, this is why I'm trying to tell you, I know that each and every one of these experiences that I brought through and was for my good. When you go back and you look at some of the things that you thought of, some of the things where you were acting, these particular things come through you, and it just is what it is. And I literally was alone for another 10 years because I sat and said to myself, like, I really just need to have myself. You know what I mean? And that's just beside my son. My son was still young when me and his father divorced, but in that it was still one of those things, right? Where I was alone because I wasn't with a partner. And I had not been alone and without a partner per se for like many, many, many years. Because of just the speed at which everything happened. Um, so, you know, I just wanted to, in this video, I just really wanted to let you know, like, life is like a tapestry. We got You Call Me Jazz in here. I could use her as the perfect example. She crochets, right? She does beautiful work, right? So when she's making these granny squares or whatever the case may be, she might say, well, what colors do you want in your bucket hat, or you're this or you're that? So she has to build these different colors to make it look a certain way. If you want a daisy on it, or you want different things, all of these things have to be kind of crocheted together in a perfect like thread for this beautiful thing to come out. And so you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Same thing. I just didn't experience that, but I know somebody who has. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think. At the end, my boys are with me now. And quite frankly, my brother probably could say the same thing as far as an adult, just being everywhere I've ever been. But I think that you still experience something. It's not about your location. You know what I'm saying? That's just like one part of it. It's like going off on your own and learning stuff, because you're at college or whatever the case may be. But this is a broad spectrum. So college is really just one example of your everyday experiences as a woman, and as a woman of color too. So these everyday experiences that we have, they're like everyday things. The price at the market, even those that's like stay-at-home moms, like the price at the market, those particular things, the experiences that you have individually when you're going out shopping for your family, you know what I'm saying, and different things that has happened within that day span, the different experiences that you have with your sons and your daughters at their schools, elementary and high schools, those different interactions when your sons and daughters have at different activities, football, all of these is part of your learning experiences and how to learn and how to deal with certain things as they come, and they just make you who you are. That's kind of what I'm saying. So even if something is not happening so good in your life, something is holding you down or weighing you down, whether it be a possession, like something that you can physically hold, or something within you that you are still blaming yourself for based on a situation that happened, which was part of your beautiful truth. Beautiful truth. So, and so that makes it very like, look, come on. Last year, you know what I mean? Come on. There was some growing pains. There were some things that was different. There were some things that, and then look, that all those pains, all this kind of what I'm saying, all the pain in that, all of, because there was joy through the pain. See, that's another thing we don't realize. Like, when you realize, sometimes when you sitting in something that's a pain, you really do remember when that testimony. For me, and if you don't do this, this is the best way to get yourself out of the funk, is to remember your testimony. Because there's nothing new under the sun. So anything you've been got out of, you can get yourself out of it again with the way you deal with your mind, your patience, and your compassion during your own struggle. You know how you ever heard people say, well, I'm going through my own thing. I don't have time for someone else's thing. I'm going through my own thing. Have some compassion, some empathy. They don't need no sympathy, but just empathy. What's up, Shantae? Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you, love. And being aware of your own situation, of what it is, and not taking it for granted, right? We got to really understand. We like put our heads up and say, I'm not gonna take this thing for granted. Not at all. Because joyful seasons, when we're in joy, they remind us of our gratefulness. They remind us of the present moment, of the times that we were open-hearted. And difficult seasons really do teach you endurance. They do sharpen you. They do allow you to get some knowledge where you can seek some wisdom. It really does. And it does strengthen your passion, your compassion for other people, and your ability to surrender what no longer serves you. And a lot of times people say, well, I really can't identify what no longer serves me. Yes, you can. You know exactly what that thing is. You just don't want to let go. You just don't want to say, it's not for me no more. It's not nothing that I feel that is serving my highest good. Because we can always find a reason for that very thing that we need to let go, not to let go of it at all. And so because of that, we have to, that's where the self-examination comes in. And you can ask as many people, places, and things, hon, because there may be a place that you've been going to for 20 years and it is not for you anymore, and you shouldn't be going there anymore, right? But the experience through going there, as long as you want to go there, you should gain these principal things. You should gain some knowledge, which then you can seek the wisdom, right? You should be able to gain you should be able to be sharpened through the thing, be sharpened through it. And that's that's just very important. When you're giving up something, there has to be a return. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't truly seek what it is, and you still ain't made room, because the very thing that you need to really give up for your experience to make room for your new experience, you ain't done that yet. And you keep having to serve the same time over it, because that's you wanting to serve the same time. Basically it keeps us stuck. When we keep resisting the life experience, not learning in the life experience at that particular time, the only thing that does for us is really, really, really get us stuck, keep us stuck. Because we're just turning like a hamster wheel. That's why you can't resist it. That's why embracing is very important. Embrace it. Learn your lesson. Learn what your triggers are. Learn how to address your triggers and your emotions in a way that is conducive to you first and foremost. You know what I mean? Because the dark and the light do count. We need both sides of us for sure. But life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. The vibrations you take off, all of the things that you set in motion based on one activity or one experience that you just simply didn't embrace as something that you brought through you for you. No one's ever doing anything to you. It's always you. You are against you. You are for you. You just need to ask the questions. Simply, for me, I don't think asking the question why is relevant anymore. If you really truly know that you brought this through. I think simply asking, what is this teaching me? The why is you needed it. You needed to see this. This is an event that needed to go on in your life. That is the why. And I think that if you just get out of trying to figure that out, like, look, I bring things through me and that's period. What am I supposed to be learned? Like, what is the teachable moment for me in this situation? This situation that I say is a situation where I feel it is something that I do not desire. What does it actually mean for me? If it ain't about nothing, ain't nothing I could change, ain't nothing. My friend laughed at me because she say every time you be talking, you will hurry up and tell somebody that is not anything. You know, I tell people that so quick, like that don't got nothing to do with nothing. Whatever that is you're talking about, it really don't. Like, why are you putting yourself through that particular type of situation when you can't do nothing? Like, you let it go type thing. I'm truly one of those type of people. And so when I say, okay, yeah, that's kind of easier said than done. Absolutely. Do I know? But when you practice that stuff, when you practice just saying, look, I brought this through and now I need to, my next thing is, what do I learn from this situation? Do I want to learn from this situation? And do I want to take this examination and ace it? Or do I want to repeat it? Because when you fail to examine what is your teachable moment in these situations that you do not care for, that means embracing them. You can't resist them. You can't be like, oh, you can't dodge them. You got to go head forward. Like, Shantae, girl, you gotta go for your and run up. And when you run up, you gotta say it and say it loud and say it proud. Like, what is it that you want to teach me here in this situation? Because I need to learn this thing, because I already know how my emotions feel right now. I feel defeated. Okay. I feel hurt. I feel bothered. I feel all of those things that I know is messing with my frequency for all things. These things are not separated. It's going to mess with my frequency for all things. Have you ever been through a certain situation where you were like up, all the way up, like your finances was right, you wasn't worried about nothing during that time, and one of those 5 things that you call your core things in life, right, got disrupted? And then the next thing you know, it was like dominoes. That was your frequency. That was your frequency. Normally, your finances start falling as soon as any type of relationship fall apart. All of a sudden, your money is being affected by it. Your money isn't being affected because you're not an abundant source of everything, because you are. Your money is being affected because you're off of vibration, because you're focusing on some relationship that was supposed to go anyhow. It wasn't, it was one of those people that you needed to experience, learn from, and get on. Y'all hear me? Okay. 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 Because you're becoming a new creature. You're becoming a new creature. Right? Who wants to keep evolving? Like one in the chats for those that want to keep evolving in this thing that we got going on. Just that I want to keep evolving for sure. Me. And if you're catching the replay right now, is a good time to comment and say, I want to keep evolving. Like I want to keep growing. I want to be part of this particular community that we are building right now. That helps us with our growth. Like openly helps us with our growth. Because that's what it's about. It's about inspiring and motivating and encouraging others. And I'm going to tell you right now, by the people that I see in here right now, each and every one of y'all got a part in encouraging others. Y'all have done it for me and have allowed me to do it for you at different times in conversations. And what better group of women to grow a beautiful channel with, but a group of women that, so if you want to be here with us the next time, subscribe to the channel, put your notification bells on so that you know when I'm live. And hey, see us on the next live. Look, the woman in the mirror evolves daily, says Miss Ambition. That's her little black book. It's available now. It's available now. And so, believe it or not, difficult moments can unlock joy in you. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but yeah, it can unlock joy in you too. I mean, because in self-discovery, you really begin to learn what you want, what really matters to you. What really matters to you. Make sure you hit that notification bell to know when I go live next. Make sure you hit your like button as you come in and introducing yourself to the group. And so you're able to discover some things about yourself you didn't even know. I'm telling you, you don't even realize how strong you are until something happens. And that is why you got to embrace all of your experiences. You really don't. You do not know how strong you are until something happens. You realize that you are stronger than the average person. How you can stand up for yourself. How you thought that very thing that was going to crash and burn you, you know what they saying now, that very thing that you thought you was cooked on wasn't no flame whatsoever as you're going through these things. Joy comes from seeing that, even in that season, like that hard season that you're in, whatever it is, that you're still growing and that you're learning how to change it. Because once again, when you're willing to take a little reign, just to, and then be aware of what you're thinking, your thoughts, things that you may be holding on to, really, really, really doing that internal work, it comes through for you. Trust me, it comes through for you. And that's one of the greatest moments, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. What you learn about yourself. And you can feel at the very time that you're doing it, that it's about whether or not, you were able to beat a substance, or whether or not you were able to get away from a no good partner or whatever. All of that's just secondary to really what happens to you when you embrace all of your experiences. There is teachers in your experiences letting you, because you want to experience that experience and you want to know the best way for you to go. You're always yearning to move higher and higher and higher and evolve and evolve and evolve. All of us are. That's why sometimes we play our worst enemy, because you can get one possession and get so riled up that you need to hurry up and try to get the next one. That's just a whole other story, y'all. Because marketing play on us with that. No, I'm not gonna keep buying your iPhone. No, I'm not gonna keep buying your Xbox or your PlayStation. Because every year there's a new one. So those particular things. So let's just talk about a few practical ways to really, really embrace life's experiences. Overall, start being honest with you. You got to be willing to say when you're scared, when you have a little fear, or what is going on. What I see now, and this is only my take, y'all, is it is so many people that are always relying on just saying that they feel okay. That's not enough. That is really only half of it. The words, yes, it works for you to repetitively do affirmations and things like that, but you really got to feel that way. So that means you got to be honest in what you're struggling with. You got to be honest in what you're going through. You got to be honest in in what you believe are your strengths and the things that you need to build upon, your fears, where you feel you were a failure, even though there's nothing such as failure. Who do you have to be honest with? You. You don't have to go telling the world. That's not going to make it any more vibrationally honest for you because you go tell a bunch of people. You gotta back it up with your belief system and say, look, I'm honest about this, and acknowledging what the season feels like. You don't need to minimize that you're not affected. Acknowledge that it feels bad, or or acknowledge when it feels good so you'll be able to pull back on that thing later. But if it feels a little bad to you, it's okay to say, hey, this feels a little bad this season. Give yourself some grace. Because sometimes, hey, the Spirit can tell us not to do something and we'll still do it. We'll still do it. And then when the lesson come around, we trying to beat ourselves all the way up after something that we did yesterday. And it ain't nothing you can do about yesterday whatsoever. There ain't nothing you can do about yesterday, but we'll hold on to yesterday. Hold on. Yesterday is yesterday. Tomorrow take care of itself type thing. And always, once again, reflect on what it's teaching you. Practice gratitude for whatever is in your life that remains good. There's something that remains good, even in something that you feel is an undesirable event or uncertain that you don't want to have anything to do with. Look, love, I'm telling you, there's still a golden string within that. Okay. Stay open to support. Always seek for some knowledge. Always, get you some knowledge so that you can seek for the wisdom that goes along with that knowledge and how to use it and how it is applicable to you. Everything is perfectly the way it's supposed to be. You have to acknowledge that you are at the right place at the right time. So the experience should be okay for you to kind of get through, because if you believe that, hey, I'm bringing this through so it could teach me something, but I'm in the right place at the right time. I don't need to rush through this. I don't need to rush to see nothing. Yes, Shantae, we don't need to do that. We can just rest in it. Rest in it. And one of y'all should understand even a little bit more where this topic came from, because it stemmed from a conversation I had with you. And then the Lord give me this to say, look, we got to embrace arcs, even the little minute ones, that we got to embrace them and understand that this is our time to acknowledge what's going on. Get us, what is it that you would have me do? And I'm serious, like a real question. Give me that answer with clarity. What am I what is this teaching me? Get the answer. It's going to be given to you. There's not one good thing that will be withheld from you at all. You just got to be serious with yourself. You got to go boldly with this question and get the answer, and stop second guessing yourself. We got to stop second guessing ourselves, friends. We got to stop second guessing ourselves. And the thing about it is, you don't need the whole answer. You don't need every step. All you need to do is the first one, which is, wait. A lot of times that is the very first answer you will get when things happen. Wait. I need to get your vibration in the right place to receive what this is all about. Because right now, that's not where your vibration is. But I need you to get in that space so that I can penetrate in and give you the next divine action for the next experience. Because the experiences are going to continue. The how is not your business. The how is not your business. Stay out the how. Stay out the how business. Stay out the how business. I'm telling you, because we have so many limiting beliefs, especially from traditionalized church. We have so many limiting beliefs. And to me, whichever way you want to go, it doesn't matter to me. The prosperity message, you can have that message. You want to have the fire and brimstone message, have that message. But at the end of the day, we have to learn to understand that each and every one of us has to live our own message. And that is that. You got to live your own journey. You have a unique thing about you. Nobody on this earth can do it. Period. They can't. They ain't gonna be able to do it, right? And when the most powerful shift really can begin for you and I and anyone that really just starts to embrace, is when you really we begin to see your experiences different. You got to see them as a path forward and not something that's stopping you from doing anything, not something that you're being punished for. Because we can get stuck there too. Well, if I hadn't did this, then this wouldn't happen. If I did, no, this is an event to get me through that, to get me to the next step in my journey, to get me over that hump. It's like the little engine that could type story. It's okay if I got to go up a little hill right now. I'll go ahead, choo choo, on up there. But me knowing that my journey is one that is special, that I'm unique. Do you believe that you're unique? Because that's really what you have to do. You have to say, yeah, I know what's up. I'm unique. Man, who? Me. And you can say that simply because nobody has your DNA. Nobody has your fingerprints. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Independently, you're unique off top. So if you can't believe in yourself being unique, you can't believe you got the unique skills, the unique gifts and everything for your said journey, I'm going to tell you, get out of your own way. You are very unique. And yes, there are going to be people that can do things just like you, but they can't do it like you. I mean, do things that you can do, but they can't do it just like you. They can do things you can do. They just can't do it just like you. And that's why this is very important. It's for you to understand where you are in your journey is at the right place at the right time. At the right place at the right time. Who says so? You say so. It's you against you. Okay, for sure. I used to call myself unique side of me. The Jazz is sold straight up separately. Let's go. You can call me Jazz. Like you can't be me. You cannot be me. And just let me just put it like this, because we're just about at our hour. And if you got any questions you want to come up, I'm gonna drop the link for those that may want to come up. If you want to come up, if you don't, then that's cool. Um, but I'll drop the link for everybody that if you want to come up for a second, use your voice, that's fine, because this is a journey talk. And I just want to say that remind you this one thing, that every part of your journey matters. The moments that made you smile, the moments that made you cry, the so-called delays, the detours, the lessons, the victories, all of that stuff. Yes, on the roads with the roads, you are late. Watch the replay though. It was a good one. Or listen to the replay Monday while you rolling around to the job or something. All of your journeys matter. The delays, the detours, the lessons, the victory, all of it, all of them there are to teach you something. It's all about how you handle that particular class, how you handle that particular lesson. Embracing life experiences does not mean every chapter is easy, of course. Every chapter, every session, there may be some things that you gotta deal with. And who you dealing with? You ain't dealing with nothing outside of you. You're only dealing with your internal self. That is it. You brought it through. Now you need to work it through. It has anything to do with anybody else that's connected to you. It's about the characters that you've created, the script that you have wrote, because you were the director of this here thing. You producing this whole movie of yours, and you're gonna produce it. You're gonna keep producing it. You're gonna keep producing it. And the way you see the characters outside of your life is the way you see them, because that's the way you wrote them into the script. That's the way you wrote them into the script. Just be aware during this time. If I can leave you with anything, make sure that you're aware of everything that is that may be undesirable, as well as you being aware of those things that are desirable. Because once again, I tell y'all, a lot of times y'all can't remember something that's so good that you could get you out of it. You can't tell a testimony to save your life, not to you or nobody else, where you feel good, where you feel joy in the time of something that may not be a desirable thing. You can't pull up a testimony that will have you say just to yourself, oh, everything gonna be okay. Everything look, I remember when. I remember when. And I know I'm over with it. You know what I mean? Not during the test, but those tests that you already had, those good old testimonies that you already have. And you right on the roads with the roads. You might have been late, but you are on time, because that is really how it works. It really is. But I'm so grateful for you guys being here today. I really am. And I want to just say again, for those of you that are catching this as a replay, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have some great journey talks on here. And if you are subscribed, if you're ready to evolve, comment, I'm ready to evolve. And I am going to comment back with you, because that is what we're doing. I mean, this is a space for encouragement, inspiration, and motivation. And we're going to explore our healing, our growth, self-discovery, spiritual reflection, and everyday life on this channel, like on Saturdays. Once again, Friday nights are our nights where these are going to be our stories to remember. It's our true crime series. It's called our story, the stories we will remember. No, sorry, the stories that live with us. No, I'm sorry. The stories that stay with us. That's what it is, y'all. Don't laugh at me. But the stories that stay with us, Friday nights, our true crime series. We're doing those on Friday nights, but they're still about inspiring growth and helping people like grow through the pain. A lot of it has to do with our community. Like we talked about yesterday with the Ricky Chow guy. That really is about us really learning how to protect our community off top. You understand? And for our journey talks, we're going to have more guests. We're going to do some things that are really going to help us support each other, because you're not alone. Some of the things that I'm going through right now, others have been through. Other people have been through the whole retirement. What should I do? Am I doing the right thing? Type thing. So let's talk about it. Others have been through uh our different relationship issues or our different relationship successes, because we got somebody in here with 28 years on their belt. So Jazz is, hey Jazz,
Hey, can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, maybe I can't see it because it's on my screen. My little box look black. So I wanted to come up because I know some people weren't in here when you talked about the original question, um, which was what moment in your life taught you the most about yourself?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I thought that was very interesting. I know I mentioned college, but I wanted to come up and kind of talk about that a little bit because I felt like that was so like. I know for me it was quick because I'm not that old, so. But for other people, it's different. But yeah, I wanted to come up and kind of expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, please talk to us about that, because the going to college thing, I think that if you go directly out of college, which my niece, whose mother is in the chat right now, she went directly out of college and she went out of state too. So she wasn't even near her parents or anything. So I know that when we thought about the anchor question that I asked, you're absolutely correct. It was, what life experiences has taught you the most about yourself? That was the anchor question for those of you that were here. Um, so that's what she's referring to. So how did college do that for you, ma'am?
So for me, I said college. So I went to college right after high school, and I lived on campus. I wasn't out of state, but I lived on campus at Temple University for the first 2 years. And I feel like you talked about earlier, it was the first time I was on my own. So there wasn't no, I gotta call my mom and tell her I want to go out. And no, we walk into campus at 2 o'clock in the morning just because we can. We going to 7-Eleven all hours of the night just because, we going to parties and being exposed to things and making our own decisions as well. So that's why I mentioned it's also a sense of, yeah, you're on your own, but now you have to own up to your ish, because if something happened and it's a mistake, it's on you. You can't be like, well, my mom would have, my dad would have never. It's really on
You
you.
keep breaking up because of the wind, Jazz.
I figured that was gonna happen.
But look, I feel you on that. Right? Because you get to do some stuff in college your parents don't really know. Like you done went off somewhere, done did something, done got in the wrong car you wasn't supposed to get into, or no telling what could happen on them college campuses and how you got going on. I'm gonna tell y'all, look, when my son first left home and went away from with college, he made a mistake too. Something I thought he would never do. He made a mistake too, and he put a bump check into his account. His dad to pay for it. He let somebody talk him into that stupidity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but in that experience, if we think about it, in that experience of him, that happening to him, which I would have never wanted that to happen to him or me or his dad who had to pay it back, right? But in that, he know not to do that no more. So when his account when it's really big, he's gonna be paying attention. And somebody
Yep.
might, try to trick him. He gonna be like, no, because you know, you can't
It
really
teaches
get me.
you
You can
lessons
get me if I
that your
let you
parents
get
protect you
anywhere near
from.
my account.
For
So
sure. It teaches you lessons that your parents try to protect you from. And I know it's my baby, but yeah, the baby gonna come out here and the baby gonna make mistakes. So yeah, that's why I said it taught me the most about myself because it taught me that number one, I'm a hustler. When I was in college, I was like, oh, I need extra money, and I made flyers, and I was doing hair in my college dorm. I ain't had no business doing that. And when we gonna not get into that, allegedly.
allegedly, still allegedly. I got my degree and it's still allegedly. I didn't do none of it.
But like, they told me that I was a hustler. That taught me that I feel like I was resilient, and the things that my mom didn't think I heard her, and I made wise decisions. I'm not gonna say I didn't make no mistakes, but I feel like sometimes you talking to your children, you feel like it's not getting anywhere, or they're not responsive to the information. But it's not till they go out here in the world by themselves and get exposed to different things and the decisions that they make and the things your parent voice in the back of your head, like
You know what that brings me to, though, honestly, Jazz, when you think about it, even in that, when the mistake is made, or let's just call it a mistake, right? When the experience is brought through the individual child, you don't have nothing to do with that. That's still their willpower that's bringing that through. How should we handle the approach to the child, or not the child, I'm gonna stop doing that, to the son or the daughter at that time? Like, is it supposed to be in a scolding way because it's more like a I told you so? Or do you supposed to understand as the individual that I attempted to raise the child up exactly what you wanted? Like, I'm teaching you from my experience. You don't have to go through this because I've been through it already, right? And when you've been through it already, and it starts to come through in your sons and daughters, you feel like
I tried to tell you.
right, but that's their experience to have.
hmm I feel like it never was like a scolding moment for me. I feel like my mom probably was surprised at some of the things that I had done. But
Okay.
she was always ready to ride at dawn if it was somebody trying to do me wrong. And she felt like even though what I did didn't make no sense, you still my child. So I feel like it was never scolding. It was supportive. I do get like I'm telling you this for your own good, but it's not until you go out here, you make mistakes, you do things you ain't supposed to do, things your parents told you not to do, and you get in situations, and sometimes you need their help to get you out of them. But I guess it's
You
just like
can't even hide
always,
it. Is there
yeah.
some things that you're not, especially if it's right there in that age, like the 4 year college thing? You can't hide that junk from your parent. Your parent is eventually going to find out some kind of way. Your parent would find out. So I think that when these things happen, we need to, and this is kind of like the question I was going after, really, is we need to learn how to, the people that are around us, that respect us, whether they are our children, or our sons and daughters, or our acquaintances and friends. We should consider always starting out with allowing them to, helping them to understand the importance of embracing that experience, and what really are you learning from that experience, versus doing a little, you know dance on their head, or whatever you might say, like, I'm gonna get on your head over it. You don't want to get on their head. You want to be able to allow them to understand that embracing it is necessary, because it's just another color in the yarn, if I might speak, no pun intended, Jazz. But it really is. It's just another color. Like, how
hmm
many colors do you want in this granny square, and how many colors is it going to take for me to make your design? And that's kind of how it is. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. And so, how did you use the fact that you learned that you really were resilient, like you were a little bit more stronger than what you portrayed before you left the house? How do you use that today as part of your journey today?
As part of my journey today, well, I ain't never going back. we we just evolving every day. I feel like back then, so when I was younger, I was quiet. I was very timid, quiet, shy. I found my voice when I got my first job at McDonald's. Because you need that thick coat of skin when you're around people and they judging you and all that stuff. But I would say definitely now it helps me be able to utilize my confidence to do whatever it is I need to do. There's nothing that I can't do. Um, any situation and stuff that I've gotten into, or things that were undesirable, I still made it. So I feel like you mentioned earlier, holding on to those testimonies, whether it be I don't know, bills, career development, or whatever the case may be, a status in life, if you want to be a parent, any of those things, like just holding on to something that's relatable to that. Like, oh, I got out of this. He put me through this before. He'll do it again. I feel like oftentimes we get in our head and we're like, well, He put me through that 2 years ago. Now I'm in the same situation. He's not gonna bring me through it this time. No, he gonna show up anyway, and he gonna make it
Mm-hmm.
again. But it's holding on to that mindset, and those things that were once a hurdle or a challenge or something I didn't think I was gonna get through, because I didn't think I was gonna finish college, to be honest with you. I went in that lady office. I said, I want to quit. This ain't for me. um, but the resilience of, okay, I just want to finish what I started, turned into something that I love to do. And I didn't know that, sitting there, but holding on to that nugget, like at one point, all you wanted to do was quit, and a way still was made for you to do what you originally set up to do. So holding on to those testimonials throughout life, because there will be way more others, but to get you through the next hurdle or the next obstacle or the next experience, if you will.
Yeah, so absolutely, guys. Shantae just entered the backstage, and we got about 3 more minutes. We'll let Shantae up for a second. We've got 3 minutes, and try to help us also understand how her experience, what experience shaped her today. So, hey, Miss Shantae, welcome to the stage.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. You want to answer the question today? What life experience has taught you the most about yourself?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I had to echo because I guess the two screens was running
Yeah,
simultaneously.
you got to turn it down. That's all. I
Okay,
mean, cut one off.
right. Now, what did you say? I'm sorry.
So, the question was, what life experience has taught you the most about yourself?
Honestly, being a parent. Being a parent. I'm not going to say I had a rough childhood because I did not have a rough childhood, but it was a very hard transition between me and my mother. I was a daddy's girl. My father died very early, my first year in high school. So, it was just like, it was a lot. And so, me and my mom, we were like two magnets constantly, trying to come together. But that's what I think shaped me because, There was so many times you got that reverse psychology. That's what they used to use back then, right?
And we
Why can't
still
you be
use it.
like so and so? Why this? Why that? And she was constantly beating me down with that kind of stuff. And it doesn't always make you do the opposite like they think. It really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but the things that she did not give me, I was determined to give my children. You know what I'm saying? That I don't care what it is that you want to do. If you want to do it, you can go out there, you can get it, you can achieve it. And I'm going to help push you there. Even when you tell me, if that's what you tell me you want to do, then that's what I'm going to do until you just decide you don't want to do that no more. But I'm going to push you and keep
So
pushing you.
what did that teach you about yourself, your ability to take what I believe to be maybe a bit of lack of affection maybe from the mother? How did that, what did that teach you most about yourself? You.
It just taught me to be, I'm going to say stronger. I feel I'm very strong. And I used to say all the time, and it was so funny because a lot of this stuff I really did not know that this is where it, came from, because wasn't really into the church and the Bible like that when I was a child. My mom and dad didn't go to church like that. You know what I mean? So my thing was, as it's going through those challenges and becoming what don't kill me makes me stronger. I just keep on pushing, keep on pushing, keep on pushing. Until one day I got, I think it was in 2017 was the first time I had my first ever in my life uh mini breakdown. That was the first time ever being so overwhelmed. Um and I didn't bounce back. Cause I always bounced back, always, no matter what was being thrown at me.
Well, you
And
didn't.
that's what people
Well, let me
always
tell you
said.
real quick, Shantae, because I want to say something. You bounced back, right? You just didn't bounce back in the amount of time that you thought you should have bounced back. That's what you
Okay.
mean. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So this
I
is
always,
something
like they
that
said
you
with the
said,
cat.
look, I thought I should have been back on my feet within a week from
Right,
this
right, no.
experience, but
But
it
like
just
the
took a
cat.
little longer for me to get through this experience here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
I
so,
always landed on my feet,
okay.
as
So
they say.
so that's kind of like what we're talking about right now, is that your experience itself is something that you have to embrace in order to really truly get through it. You know what I mean? You have to own the experience itself.
Hmm. Hmm.
And sometimes we just don't own it as quick as we think we can, because it's just the particular experience that kind of stretches us out. Now, so I get what you said, because sometimes I be in stuff and I be like, whatever. It be 5 minutes. I'm out that sucker. It don't bother me. Don't, none of it. I'm like, whatever. But then sometimes, like what you saying, I'll come and be like, dang, it's a week later. And I'm
Hmm.
still dragging through this experience, you know? So
I have
I
to
totally
admit,
get
I
that,
just had
Shantae.
that
I
talk. I
get
had
that.
that talk with the Father. I just said that, those exact words. I was like, I was like, Lord, I feel like I should get it by now. I don't understand why I'm not getting it, because, but again, like you said, understanding the changes and the transitions, I can see where I have grown though. You understand
Good,
what I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
From
yeah.
how
Because
I
it's your
used to be.
experience.
I used to be like really, really tough. But always empathetic, like what you said. I always try to do that with everybody. And just learn, as I've been telling a lot of people, my advice is always, like you said, be accountable. Show up for yourself. Don't be accountable just for the good. Be accountable for the bad too.
Because
You know
But
it's
what
I
I'm
you
feel
saying?
like
People
anyhow.
don't want to do
It's
that.
you anyhow. There's no reason to not be accountable for what's happening in your life, because you're
Exactly.
doing it anyhow. So I don't
Because
even
you
know why
waiting.
people are afraid of just saying, look, I brought this through me. Now I need to
It,
figure out what,
I
what
got an
what is it here?
example.
What is it here to teach me in this human form?
Right. I got an example for you. You get a car. And so struggling with my kids, you know what I'm saying, in the house or whatever. They called that job hopping because I was all over the place. If it didn't work right and I was like tired, I'm like, I ain't gotta take this, I'm out. But I'm in the house, right? And I come outside, you got your neighbors. I was in a little block, so everybody knew everybody my whole life in that neighborhood, right? So one day I come out there, somebody said, and you talking to them, and they was like, "Oh, I seen they took your car. What happened? Why they took? What you mean? What happened? I ain't paid a bill. What you talking about? That's why they came and took the car. You understand what I'm saying? I'm I'm a willing and always have been willing, and that's why I try to teach my kids: own up to your stuff. Don't be ashamed about it for nobody else. You know what I mean? And I had a neighbor tell me that. He said, "Oh, this you? My baby girl, my only daughter, yes, my only girl, bought me a brand new, well, not brand new, but still, she bought me a BMW, right? We come down the block, and the neighbor next to me, old dude, called me baby girl. I love that man to death. He said, "Is this you, baby girl?" And I was like, yeah, that's me. He said, "Oh, well, go ahead." He said, "They really gonna be hating on you now." And I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "You should have seen how they was when you had your son's truck. Now you in another car just like that." I was like, all I do is handle my business and take care of my bills, my kids, whatever. I ain't got time for all that other nonsense. That's all I'm trying to do, and be the best me that I can be, because I can only be Shantae Petty, like you said.
And
So
that's the number, and that really is the number one thing to um understanding, that if you just use your unique self during these different situations, it's the experiences that are happening, that you're bound to come out of them. You can't stay in something forever. What is the song? Troubles don't last always. So troubles don't last always. And
right.
there's a season and a reason for everything that we go through. And really pulling on that golden string, I think, is the most important thing when it comes to the experiences that we're having in life. And it's just, hey, it's tap dance in the rain. I'm pretty sure you got an umbrella type thing. It really does really come down to like the simplest, simplistic thing, that whether or not you want to acknowledge what it is that you do have versus what it is that the experience is bringing you through. Um, Even if it's just a mental thing, like I gotta have my scruples. I have to have my scruples, right? So thank God that I woke up with the clothed in my right mind type thing, because that's what I don't have a problem with. So I might as well focus on that. And it's just the way you go through your experiences, um, that is the way you come through them. If you want to put it, they're coming through you. So the way in reality that you handle them is actually how they're going to come through. And that's what
Well
I really
said.
do believe. That's what I really do believe. I think we all need the reminder from time to time. I was reminded in a very tough way through conversation I had with Shantae just earlier this week. I was like, my God, I needed that conversation. She might have thought the conversation was for her, but I also needed the conversation because it really um, had me reflect on some of my testimonies. Like, yeah, God, yeah, like, yeah, that's right. That is right. And all of those experiences was who made me who I am today. And any experiences that are on the way, will be for the same thing. Whether those experiences are desirable or undesirable, they'll still be for the same thing. And that's for my highest self and my highest good. So I can march through anything. I got muscle. And I want to tell everybody else in here right now, including my guests that were brave to get up here with me today. I'm glad y'all got up here though, y'all. Um, you got muscle too. You got
Thank
muscle too. Whatever the experience is, you got muscle too. And you're gonna get right on through it. And if you are in a season of bliss right now, be just as grateful as you can. And even in the times that got you there, be grateful for the experience. Any final thoughts from you ladies on the stage?
Rise up, tap in.
Tap in. Look, that's Nia's song. You better not play with me and Nia. Me and Nia love that song.
I like all the variations. I'm too indecisive to be choosing.
I can't choose one either, but I'm going with that one for the intro because I really do like the bop in that. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do for the outro as soon as the community gonna continue to grow, y'all. I'm blessed to have. I'm not gonna lie. I'm blessed to have some of you, the best ladies that I've met in the past 3 years as women that are supporting me. I really am. I'm just, y'all don't know. I'm overwhelmed just by knowing that. And then for your mom to just kind of step in and been in the live a couple of times and communicating with people in the chat and willing to get up here today. I'm blessed. I really am. And I'm a Pisces, so I start crying, but I ain't gonna start crying on y'all ladies. But I'm telling you, I'm really, 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 really blessed that you've helped me with all of the, well, I got only 2 projects, but 2 of my projects were the only 2 I have. Jazz, you've been an intricate part of that, and I will never, ever, ever in my life forget you, ever, 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 ever.
I would like to say to all of the women out there and men, and whatever it is that you're going through, stay encouraged. Don't give up. You're not alone. Even when it feels like that at times, you will get to that light at the end of the tunnel. It is possible. I've done it more than enough times. You know what I mean? Like you said, you don't realize until you think back on those victories along with those trials or whatever it is that you went through. And you'll make it. You'll be all right.
Absolutely.
Continue to believe in yourself. Stay inspired and encouraged.
Continue to believe in yourself. Once again, I thank y'all guys. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you give us a follow and subscribe to the channel. Invite your friends. Invite somebody that need to hear. They can stay in the bushes. They don't need to let us know they hear. That way they'll get a whole bunch of juice and they could, just take it and run. They don't have to, out themselves. We don't care. What we're trying to do is encourage and motivate people to their highest self, to who they are, their authentic self. So invite your friends. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We're going to play another version of the song. Let's play this one. Bye, y'all.
See you later.
Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated. We rise, we heal, we consciously be. No labels, just growth, domesticated me. Journey talking,
you're too funny, girl.
my body and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate.
I'll see y'all next week. See you on Friday for the stories that stays with us. And I'll see you on Saturday for the next Journey Talk. All right, ladies.